for the past almost 30 years, Turcon has served major capital projects on 5 continents. We've done about 25 of Chevron's projects, and that they have been our largest client. The most recent one was Gorgon, which was off Western Australia, and came in at $62 billion total installed cost, and I think the largest project in the world. I won't talk about how the financials turned out on that, because Turcon did not have a great impact on it. But lots of projects for Chevron, and then we've had quite a few projects with Bechtel. They've been a contractor that we have had a long relationship with, and then you can see some of the other examples of projects on our map. Okay. So today we're going to talk about conflict, and conflict is a topic that a lot of people are not particularly comfortable with, and so I'm quite used to that. What we need to do is to help people understand that there are constructive ways to deal even with very, very difficult people, and there are some principles that the whole course is built around. And the main thing is that we need to look at these 3 areas in order to get a perspective on conflict and to begin to build the awareness and the skills. So it begins with self-awareness and understanding more about what our vulnerabilities are individually, and then self-awareness in terms of what skills we need to add in order to be more comfortable with conflict. And certainly the phrase in the center of the graphic is the important message here. Win-lose conflict approach is not one that pays off. And you'll hear a lot about that as we go through the slides. So the idea is, how can we create solutions that begin to make it us against the problem rather than blaming? And in order to do that, we have to have some knowledge. We need to understand the roots of conflict, and we need to know the common workplace triggers, and that's one of the things we'll talk about today. Another important element of being good at handling difficult conflicts and difficult people is to know that helping them maintain their self-esteem, and you maintain your self-esteem also, is a key to effective conflict resolution. And again, we have some specific tools that will help you with that. And then we need to mention the impact of culture. I'm sure many of you have worked cross-culturally on project teams for a long time, and you understand exactly the fact that one has to be more sensitive and less sure of the right answer when we're working across culture with other people. The behaviors and skills are listed here, and again, we're going to be doing diagnosing of what those roots are. Managing emotions will be definitely something that we'll shed a little more light on. How do you do that? How do you stay in control and not lose it in terms of conflict resolution or dealing with it? Communicating non-defensively, very difficult to do sometimes, but we need to understand the dynamics of why we get defensive, and then we can put on the brakes and make a choice. And finally, then, the importance of maintaining trust. It can't be overemphasized. So let's look at another slide here. Resolving conflict and managing differences is essential for success as a professional, no matter what profession you're in. And we'll see here that substantive conflicts, as it says here, do not resolve themselves. Rarely they do. And if we ignore them, they often go underground, and then, as we say here on the slide, get fought again on a different topic. So it's not that it goes away by ignoring it. And I think leaders and project professionals need to understand that. Conflict avoidance can be tempting, as it says towards the bottom of the paragraph. It's a losing strategy today. You have to be willing to expand your skills in this area. It's part of success, no matter what you're doing as a professional, and especially if you're a leader. So you see the bottom line there is you have to take responsibility. And in a minute, we're going to see a slide about the high cost, as the topic subject has indicated. It costs money to have unresolved conflict on projects. That can be challenging because, especially for technical professionals, because it's a different set of skills. So if you're an engineer or you're a computer programmer writing code, there are some fixed rules for how to do those jobs. And often the skills or the processes could change over time or be improved, but they are clear, fixed rules about how we work together. On the other hand, working with people requires interpersonal skills or soft skills, which I hate that word because they're not. And the interesting thing about why that's so difficult is interpersonal skills and leadership skills change from situation to situation in terms of what you need to do to be effective. There are not hard and fast rules about how to lead a team, how to influence another person or team, how to resolve conflict. The answer is it depends. You have to be able to read the situation and choose the right soft skill or interpersonal behaviors to be successful in different situations. So that's why it's so much harder, especially for professional, technical professionals. Should we stop, Wendy?
No, go ahead. Yes.
Well, I mean, are we going to get ready for the formal beginning at 11:30?
No, the formal webinar started at 11, so we are recording currently.
Oh, I wasn't told that. All right. You'll have to cut this out, and I'll go ahead. That was not my understanding. That's really disappointing all the way around. I was told that we would have a little dress rehearsal at 10:30, and then we would record at 11:30.
Yeah, we start recording at 11, so it's 10:30 to 11.
All right. So shall I continue now?
Yes, we can continue on. Sure.
So as we look at the slide of cost of unresolved project conflicts, we can see that it sort of goes into 3 different orders of impact. So you can see the things listed under first order. Sometimes missed deadlines occur because people are not getting along, they're not communicating well, or they're kind of thinking, well, okay, I wanted that information from you, and you didn't give it to me in a timely way. So I'm going to make you wait just a little bit. So they don't often have high impact when we're at first order impacts, but they can be annoying and are of concern. If you look at second order impacts, we begin to see that serious things happen. If there is unresolved conflict within a team, between teams, across teams, or between project leadership and a team. And the higher impact things that happen are turnover, and then you lose institutional memory, which is not good. You have increased management scrutiny, and probably you've been in situations where you have seen